Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Amateur. I'm James, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the ominous subject of bore scoring. This might be a video for you if you own a Porsche 911, Boxster or Cayman, going back as far as 99, all the way through to present day, unfortunately. Let's go check it out. So yes, welcome back to the video. We're talking about bore scoring today. Now, for those of you that own 911s and Boxster Caymans from the 99 to the sort of 2009 region, that, 10-year period, there's a good chance that you either know what bore scoring is and you're worried about it, which is why you're here watching this video, or you know at least enough to know that you should maybe be worried and you're here to know more about it. So in this video, we're going to cover a little bit about what it is, how it can happen, maybe ways of preventing it, even though there's no complete way of avoiding it if your car is susceptible. And we're going to show you actually how to get inside your cylinders and take a look yourself with a Borescope. And you can see that sort of sitting behind me. We're going to take a look at that tool in a minute. Now, in the intro to the video, I also said that maybe cars up to present day are susceptible to bore scoring. Now, for the longest time, we all assumed that it was just the M96 and M97 engines that were in the 996 and 997s and Boxster Caymans of that kind of era. But we're hearing more and more reports from enthusiasts who have had their cylinders checked in 991 models, for example, and they are starting to see bore scoring. So maybe even later model cars are susceptible, and maybe we're only learning about it now because those cars are starting to get 10 years older or more, and you're seeing more and more of those cars on the road with over 100,000 miles, and maybe it was a time bomb that we just didn't know about. But anyway, regardless, with this video, certainly if you've got a Boxster Cayman or a 911 from 99 through to about 2009, in this video, you're gonna see in an hour with a Borescope, you can take off the rear wheels, get inside the cylinders with that Borescope and check it out for yourself. You don't need to be paying the dealers hundreds of dollars to do it for you. We're going to talk about what happens, why it happens, and what to look out for. Now, before I even start getting into rambling on about what this thing is and why it happens, I really want to shout out Porsche Club of America. They did a 3 or 4 part series on this topic. And if you want to know absolutely everything, soup to nuts, you should go and check out those videos. PCA, certainly over the last few years, have been pumping out more and more epic content, and you should check it out. Even if you're not in the States, anywhere in the world, check out PCA. So, bore scoring in a nutshell. In your 6 cylinders, in your flat 6 engine, you've got 6 pistons that go up and down, pumping as you drive, and something happens within those cylinders that causes this effect that we call bore scoring. Now, bore scoring is basically where the metal on metal effect of that piston that's experiencing trouble is pushing and creating friction against the side of the cylinder wall, and you start to see these grooves appear in the metal. And that essentially makes the piston work harder. It doesn't go up and down quite as uniformly as it should. Long story short, anything can happen from your engine starting to eat through oil, like a quart of oil every 1,000 miles. That's one sign. On the, as you look at the rear of the car, the passenger side tailpipe, you might start to see black soot coming out of the back of the car once you start it up. There's always a little bit of white smoke that kind of comes out, and that's nothing too much to worry about. But if you're seeing vast amounts of black soot being expelled from your car when you start it up, that's also a sign of bore scoring. And essentially what happens is the seal around the top of the pistons starts to wear and decay. And some of those pieces either make it into the cylinder, or that seal that's protecting the aluminum top of the piston from touching the aluminum side of the cylinder stops doing its job. And so now you're getting aluminum on aluminum moving up and down, or aluminium and aluminium for my friends in Europe. And that creates heat, that can create these grooves. It can make your engine overheat. It can, like I say, make your engine eat more and more oil. And eventually, this is something that can lead to a catastrophic failure. I can't say that word. Catastrophic failure. And of course, that's not good. Repairing this means having the inside of your cylinders relined, one or all of them. And if one of them or two of them is starting to show, most of the pros, I think, will recommend that you get all of your cylinders relined and maybe replace the pistons. You're talking about anywhere from 10 to 15 to maybe $20,000 US for that job. Now, there isn't really anything you can do to prevent bore scoring from happening, apart from some of the basics. One of the reasons it happens is you might leave your car sitting for a long time, and you might just use your car at the weekends for a quick half an hour ride here and there, and you're not giving the engine the ability to go through the full heat cycle properly. So jumping in it straight away when it's cold and firing it up and starting to drive, hammering on the throttle as quickly as possible without letting the engine heat up first. It's the heating and cooling issue with this particular engine that can lead to bore scoring. So a couple of things. One, don't let your car sit for months and months at a time. Try and put it through a heat cycle. Two, when you do start the car up, if you are only going to go for a short run, try and let it sit idle for 5-10 minutes so that it starts to warm up before you start driving. Three, when you do take it out, don't get on the gas right away. And I'm guilty of this, of course. I get on that highway within a few minutes of driving my car and boom, on ramp, I am flying. Try and avoid those things. Other things, try and change your oil on a regular basis if you don't already. Some of the manuals say that you can run 10,000 miles before getting an oil change. I don't know of any enthusiast or garage that I've come across that isn't recommending 5,000 miles. So stay on top of your oil maintenance, and the rest of it is basically hope for the best. I know, doesn't sound great. Now, there's loads more detail and loads more science behind this. You know, when they went from air-cooled cars to water-cooled cars, they changed the way they actually manufactured the block and the inside of the cylinders. The inside of the cylinders is coated with this special kind of material, and that's part of, you know, the problem. Go and check out that PCA, Porsche Club of America video series to find out more about the facts and the science. What we're gonna do now is get into the DIY segment. So let's actually get this 997, this beautiful 997.1 from my friend Patrick. We're gonna get it up on the lift, we're gonna take off one of the rear tires, and we're gonna go inspect the cylinder. So, are we gonna find bore scoring? Patrick's certainly hoping not. All right, so before we actually get to the job, let's take a look at the tool that we're gonna be using today primarily. And this is the Borescope from Teslong, who were kind enough to send me one to demo. They're available from Amazon, and there are higher spec models, and I'll talk a little bit about it in a second. But this basic one runs for about $100, maybe $110, and it's super worth it. And if you're not going to use it on your car, you can use it for looking into drywall. You can looking basically anywhere you can shove a little wire into somewhere you can't see. This is super helpful. So let's take a look at the tool. Essentially, you've got your controller here, and you've got your Borescope on the end of this 5-foot wire. To turn it on, I'm going to press and hold. I'm going to press and hold the power button, and it should take us straight to the camera view. Now, this is full HD. The resolution is 1080p. There's a lower version model, I think, with 720, but this is full HD. Really cool. You've got a toggle in the middle here, and you can see that it's actually going to change the direction of the camera, which is really cool. It's got a light, so going into dark spaces, not an issue. You can control the light. There are 3 different brightness settings. There's also a zoom function, so you can zoom in or out of what you're looking at. You can also choose as to whether or not you want to take pictures or if you want to record video. And then on the back, there's a little trigger here for you to take photos or to start and stop recording the video. And then, like any tool you'd expect, you can go into the menu, you can configure the resolution, you can configure the date and time, whether or not you want the shutter sound. Let's see if I can go across the next menu. Whether it, automatic shutdown, language. It takes the temperature of where the camera is, which is really cool. And you can choose whether or not it's Celsius or Fahrenheit. It comes with a memory card, micro SD in the corner. And so you can format the card if you want to, and then you can hit back to factory settings. And then charging is super simple. It just requires a USB-C cable that goes in the side. When it came out of the box, it was actually fully charged, which is pretty amazing. So that is essentially it. Let's get the 997 up on the lift, and let's get this shoved inside it. So we've taken the wheel off. I need to remove this heat shielding, and it looks like there are two 10mm bolts. There's one here, and then I can't quite show you, but there's another one sort of up there. And then we're just gonna go straight into this first coil and this first cylinder here. So if we take a look at the tip of this spark plug, it's actually pretty clean. You can't see any oil, which is a really good sign, because if there was bore scoring, the car eats more oil, and you often see a lot of oil and carbon kind of scoring, carbon remnants on the tips of spark plugs, but that one's actually really clean looking. So good news so far. Okay, so Chris is getting the Borescope down the cylinder, or at least down the spark plug tube. And because of where the piston is right now, we've got to manually crank the engine, which you can do by using a 24mm socket on the back of the crank. And you can only go clockwise, do not go counterclockwise. And you got to do it really slowly. So Chris, are you in position?
I am in position whenever you're ready.
All right, so I'm gonna see if I can just crank this ever so slightly. Can you see any more?
Top of the piston, but you can see there's...
Okay. Oh, that looks really clean.
It looks super clean.
So like, that looks like oil, a little bit of an oil stain, which is fine on the top of the piston head. That all looks...
But that's the whole cylinder there.
Yeah. You can sometimes get like drag marks, like one of these, like that line, for example, there. That's probably just an oil mark. There's no scoring there whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's really good. Good news for Patrick.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's it for another video. I hope you found this useful. We didn't have time to check out all 6 cylinders. We took the one that was basically the easiest shot to get at, but you can get to all 6 coil packs and spark plugs by just removing the wheels. If you wanted to, of course, you could take off the bumper and you take off the mufflers as well to get a clear shot into each cylinder. But it is possible, even if you don't have a lift, to basically just jack it up a little bit, take the wheel off and get straight in there. But like I say, I hope you found this useful. And thank you to the folks that sent me the free Borescope. Very useful, very easy to use. I've been very impressed with it. And what next? Spring is slowly approaching here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. So hopefully some more driving videos soon. And I've got to do my oil change, speaking of oil changes, for my 991. And we'll see what else. Tail of the Dragon should be coming up soon this summer. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. Like, subscribe, all the usual. And I'll see you in another video soon. Thanks. Bye.